If you can find the way to just get over that initial few, it's all it takes is just a few of those, just do it. And what else he said that really fucked with me is every time you make a decision, that's like a vote for the person you want to become. And that hit me so home because it's like, oh, so if you do that, you're voting on you want that guy that you know that this will lead you to. And then I'm like, oh, and it was like like pure accountability.
Yeah. Metaphor game on point.
When he makes that so clear in your brain, and then so if you are making decisions that you know you shouldn't, you have to maybe consider if you really want that. Is the way I'm looking at it. You might not want what you think you want because you ain't doing that. Because you're voting because if you wanted that, you would do it. And here's how I know, because if the stakes were high enough, you'd do it. Like, for instance, I got to take medicine every day, right? Guess who's never missed a day from the jump, from the first day, never missed a day. But
why is that? Yeah, right.
Because I know the stakes is, so it's just like we got to find a way to get the stakes, make people's stakes, feel bigger,
make themselves feel more valuable than they feel about themselves.
Which just comes down to self-worth, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: would you say self-improvement is the biggest form of self-love?
I can say that. Yeah.
Now, is that a bad thing?
What, self-improvement? Never.
See, some people will say like, well, it's so narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? Some people because I go kind of hard on me.
Yeah.
And this is devil's advocate, but some people say, why are you so focused on you?
You know what's interesting? I was listening to Vlad TV. He's Vlad. So I was listening to Vlad. He was interviewing Raekwon the chef from Wu-Tang. And he was talking about the documentary that they have out and whatnot. And he was just having some little discrepancies with it. And he was talking about RZA, who was the producer of it all, going with like a younger crowd versus making a movie, like a Tupac movie or something like that. And he was like, narcissistic RZA, he wanted to take control and kind of have it be towards the younger generation. So he used the younger actors, blah, blah, blah. And I was just thinking, it's funny how like a lot of the people who are super creative of the world, we always call them narcissistic. It's just interesting how that is, like when they're the ones who are the producers or the productions or the orchestrators, it's like they're the narcissistic. And I was also watching this interview recently with 50 Cent, and he was saying how let me get it right. He was saying like, damn, I just caught it. Let me get back to that. But no, with the narcissistic shit. So he was saying that when you have something like tunnel vision, people, they mistake that for like narcissism, because it's like I'm just gonna bulldoze, and you know how 50 think he's a fucking gorilla, so I'm just gonna bulldoze everything out of my way that I can't see. So people think you're narcissistic, but really I'm just focused. So it was kind of interesting, two ways of thinking about it. Sorry that took so long.
Hold on. I personally feel pretty into me. I feel pretty narcissistic. However, with at the same time equally giving a fuck about everybody else.
Yeah.
Like I focus on me more than anything on this planet. But in some weird way for me personally, it kind of registers me focusing on other people.
Right. And I think that's just naturally how your narcissism works. Like your self-improvement is by
like people in general or me personally?
I think narcissism
like who me?
Personal. Yeah, I think narcissism can be we can define it, we can even look up the definition of it whatnot.
Yeah. Hey Tom, could you show us tell us the definition of
let's
narcissism?
Because I think we can put it in different forms. We have a negative connotation towards it, but I think it can be
well, let's see what the official definition is.
It is excessive interest or admiration in oneself or one's physical appearance.
Is that
the physical appearance?
Yeah, or your physical appearance.
Oh, so it can be either or. Okay.
No side definition at all.
So like, wait. I'm the most narcissistic nigga of all time.
I mean, there's more. There's more.
There's more.
There's selfishness involving a sense of entitlement, lack of empathy, a need for admiration, and a bunch of stuff. Self-centered, failure to distinguish self from external objects. Yeah.
Ooh, damn. I guess maybe my definition of narcissism is a little shy.
I think that first one is perfect, But then the other ones, that's like what other people, like it was kind of fucked up. A lot of those are fucked up words, right?
Yeah.
So is that what narcissism is then? Is that what the...
See, I try not to look at it from the lens. I try to look at it from the lens of what it is and just focus in oneself.
Like focus in oneself. That's how you...
But that doesn't necessarily mean
that
that's what I'm saying. That alone is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know?
If that's what we're defining narcissism as.
But that was the number one thing on the definition. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, but there was other ones, and some of them was like, I don't feel selfish, but
that's what I'm
saying. It's a hard question.
That's a hard thing to focus on oneself and not be selfish.
That's crazy. You know what's crazy? We live in a society where it's hard to define what focusing on yourself in a healthy way is.
That's a good question.
We call it narcissism. We're like, oh shit, we got to define it and look up the definition. Like we don't have a word for that shit.
You mean like focusing on oneself?
Yeah, a healthy word where we don't have to debate like what's the definition of focusing on yourself. I mean, what's the word that we would use?
Do you think that humans would just find a way to just argue about anything though?
Yeah, of course.
But we just
of course.
you
saw that movie. We just watched that Leo movie, right?
Oh,
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. Did you see that?
Oh,
have you seen it?
So my girlfriend and her mom are literally at the house as we're doing this, watching it. Right now.
It's good.
I was like, I don't know what movie.
But yeah, people will argue about literally a comet coming to Earth and what to do with it. So
wait, but first of all, can we shout out Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, he's Shakespearean.
Steve, do you like Leonardo DiCaprio?
I do.
All right, who's your top 5 actors or actresses? Well, I guess now it's all actors. I don't want to get canceled. No, I really think you call even the women actors. So who's your top 5 just actors?
Yeah. D. Eric, body